It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad. Yo, welcome, baddies. You are chilling with Papa Bear and Baby Bear, and it's up to you to decide who's who.
I think, actually, by definition, you are a bear.
Mm-hmm. I look like a bear.
And I'm a twink.
Holy shit. Oh, man. Really, what do you think your spirit animal is? Because I know that
a lion.
I think you think you'd be a lion? Or a bald eagle because you're patriotic.
Well, yes. Next question.
Next question, please. Yeah,
what's your spirit animal?
I think a grizzly bear, dude. What? Why did your chin
bear?
just go into your torso?
The fiercest bear in the planet?
Yeah, dude, but also very loving. Have you seen how that thing, how it takes care of its cubs?
Yeah, it eats them when it runs out of food.
Have you seen Brother Bear?
Oh my God. First of all, I fucking hate when people try to use cartoons and fucking movies to establish how animals are in real life.
Yep.
That's fucking stupid. Bears in real life eat their cubs when they run out of food, or if they wake up hibernation before their cubs are born, or if they just decide that they're hungry and going to kill their young. Yep. Do you realize that bears eat their prey
I get it, dude.
asshole first? These are not fun, cute creatures.
If cartoons could sexualize bunnies.
It's a huge mistake that people think bears are cute, cuddly animals.
Very cute.
No.
Coca-Cola. Who's the mascot? A polar bear.
Huge mistake.
A polar bear floating away.
It is a shame
on melting ice.
It is a shame that polar bears are dying because the ice is melting.
Yes,
but they are vicious hunters.
Oh, I'm sure. But look at how a teddy bear. Did you not own a teddy bear?
Of course I did.
Man, we are starting off hot.
But you know what?
What?
Standing in it.
Yeah. Oh,
bears are dangerous creatures.
You're triple downing.
Dangerous. Apex predators, bro.
I believe it, dude.
Apex.
But I think my spirit animal is a grizzly bear.
And I like it, bro.
Thanks, dude.
Because you're kind of like an apex predator.
Thank you.
A predator of pussy. Hey! Welcome to the episode, guys.
Welcome. I've only ever had 2 girlfriends. They call me Christian Baltazar. 2 girlfriends ever.
That's a great nickname. Not at all something we'll forget immediately. My name's Alejandro Middleton. They call me Alejandro. And we watched a movie that really just... you almost need a shower after.
A heavy film. You need to shower in holy water after you watch it because, oh boy, this is heavy. If you are thin-skinned, this will be very offensive. But it's a great watch nonetheless.
Did it scare you a little bit?
Oh, for sure.
You said this movie used to scare you as a child.
It has horror elements in it.
A little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
A little bit.
With the title like Devil's Advocate, I said it. Sorry, let me start over and let me say, baddies, today we watched
The Devil's Advocate.
Yep, starring Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves.
Al Pacino is top billed. Charlize Theron is number 3. It is a good film. Very heavy hitters. 90. Well, we'll get to it. Yeah. I think right off the top, it is a super intense film, but very entertaining.
Yes. Visually appealing for something that was made in 1997. I think the special effects were done very well, very tastefully.
Yeah.
Could be better. Dude, it's the late 90s.
No, I was going to say it is. It is. Yeah.
And I did like the acting. And I like the script.
Everybody's doing, dude.
Acting
Keanu
up a
Reeves
storm.
is doing a southern accent throughout the entire time.
And keeping it.
Holds it.
Yeah.
Never drops it.
Yeah.
Never drops it.
Like, look at where he's come from. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And he, not too long afterwards, he tackled something like this.
I think maybe like 9 years later.
Yeah. That's not too much later.
This was more closer to The Matrix than I think Bill and Ted.
You think so?
I know so.
When did The Matrix come out?
99.
Ah, okay. Let's just get into the nitty gritty then, and then we'll get through it.
Let me clear my pipes.
If you do that, that'd be so obnoxious. Like if you did that in a classroom, I'd fucking hate you. If you cleared your throat like that. If you were about to give a speech and that's how you cleared your throat. Excuse me.
That sounds like a guy from Family Guy.
You sound like Seth Rogen, man.
I love you, Seth Rogen. Action. The Devil's Advocate was rated R. It was released in the year 1997. It has a runtime of 2 hours, 26 minutes, or 186 minutes. You know what that number means?
Man, that's a thick number.
It's they're all increments of 3. 18, 6. You add 1 and 8, that's 9. You add 8 and 6, That's 14 plus 1 is 15. That's an increment of 3.
That's such a deep thinking so that you could just say this represents 666.
No, it actually represents 3. But I was thinking more of the Holy Trinity, which we can get to because this film has to deal with the Antichrist.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
Try and keep up here.
Hey, I'm keeping up, dude. I'm keeping up.
Hey, bro.
It's not that outlandish.
This film has a rating of 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
It has a rating of 67% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
And a 60% on Metacritic.
Why are you taking your time? Why are you taking your time and rubbing your nose on the microphone? You're such a weird dude.
I am a normal person.
Yeah, you're a normal person, but a weird dude.
You're a weird dude.
For sure. I own it.
That's right. Own it. Pay for it.
All right. Synopsis?
We'll get there.
I'm waiting, dude.
What's the percentage of Google users who approved of this film?
89%.
91%.
Ooh, pretty close.
You know, it is a drama procedural.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's you see a lot of court cases. You see a lot of exposition.
Dude, it starts off with the court case.
It revolves around multiple court cases.
Yeah, it's about a lawyer, so I can't imagine that it wouldn't be about a bunch of court cases.
Liar, Liar's about. Oh, actually, you see quite a bit of court. But it's not a procedural though. Like you don't see it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know what you mean by that.
It's being difficult again.
What, dude?
Aspiring Florida defense lawyer Kevin Lomax accepts a high-powered position at a New York law firm headed by legal shark John Milton. As Kevin moves up in the firm's ranks, his wife, Mary Ann, has several frightening mystical experiences that begin to warp her sense of reality. With the stakes getting higher with each case, Kevin quickly learns that his mentor is planning a far greater evil than simply winning without scruples.
You had a strong start. You're going through it very, very well until you hit the word scruples. But I don't blame you because I haven't heard the word scruples in over a decade easily.
Has a budget of $57 million. Christian,
I believe it, dude.
How much do you think it made?
$102 million.
153.
Damn, tripled it. It tripled.
This is
quite a hit.
People should see this film just to see Al Pacino being the devil. He plays the devil, spoilers. And just to see Keanu Reeves do a southern accent and be a great lawyer.
Mm-hmm. And to see Charlize Theron acting up a storm.
Going crazy. She goes crazy.
Going through every emotion that there is, she hits it. And she's doing it well. For being a young actress, she does a phenomenal job.
Even Keanu Reeves is doing a really bold choice.
Yes.
He's making a very strong choice to use this accent, to use this character that, has things that have happened in the past that we can kind of see, like when he's smoking cigarettes and first makes that response of like, yeah, I'm smoking a cigarette. It's like, oh, I get it. There's things far behind. He's worked very hard to craft this person as a character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there are moments that are very subtle, but you can tell that he made those decisions to flesh out the character a little bit more, and he did a great job as well.
Yeah. Start at the top, start in the middle. Where would you like to begin?
Let's start at the top. Dude, this movie, like I said, starts off heavy. We learn so much. We're thrown in the middle of
a hot Southern trial.
A hot Southern trial, for real. And he is the defense attorney, and he is defending a pedophile, a math teacher that is being accused of molestation of his students. And oh my God, it was hard to watch. I was eating a fudge pop when I started watching this, and the contrast of how innocent a fudge pop is. Yes, no, I finished the fudge pop quick so I could just like put it down and focus, because I felt wrong eating a fudge pop while hearing about a pedophilic molestation court case.
Did you recognize the girl who was on the stand?
No. Where is she from?
She's the friend in Princess Diaries.
That's highly specific. I haven't seen it recently enough to make that connection, but nice, dude.
Yeah, she's doing a really good job. She's acting up a storm as well.
She's like tearing up, and like to be thrown in the middle of a court trial like that. Holy shit.
So then Keanu Reeves finds out that the defendant that he's trying to defend is actually guilty, and he has this come to
and the way he finds out, disgusting, dude.
Yeah, his teacher's like getting off on the fact that on the deposition.
Yes, like she's talking about how bad it was, and this guy's like unzipping his pants in the middle of the courtroom. What a fucking pig.
So Keanu is in the bathroom trying to towel off, and this reporter comes in and is like, "Hey man, I guess you're gonna lose this one." Kind of gives him that little wink, and then Keanu's like, "Man, I never fucking lose."
No, he looks in the mirror, and you can tell that this guy's prideful. He is a young lawyer, very popular in Florida, has never lost a court case.
Incredible.
But like
64 cases.
This movie did a great job of showing how dirty the position of being a lawyer is, dude. Like, you want that money, you want to win, even if it means defending the wrong person. Like, you're supposed to be bringing justice to the world, but damn, dude.
Yikes.
Which I get. This movie was setting it up so that Keanu Reeves, being a dirty lawyer like he is, was a perfect target for the devil.
I think it's more than that. I think on the whole, just on the outside, that's the basis of the storyline. But I think we actually find out that it goes far deeper than that. I think what it actually ends up being is a plot to breed the Antichrist. And I'm not being weird. That's actually where the turn in the movie is. Spoilers, but we'll get to that. So Keanu gets invited to go to New York and work for this gentleman, John Milton. He has a law firm in New York. He says he's been watching Lomax's career as he's gone on.
Yeah.
Wants him to come work for him in New York. And John Milton, I'd mentioned this to you before we started recording. John Milton is a callback to the book Paradise Lost, which is an allegory to hell, being stuck on this island and being tempted by the devil. Main character's name was John Milton.
And that's crazy that there was strategy when picking his name, yeah.
There's a lot of allegorical references to Satan and Lucifer's story, and
a lot of symbolism too.
A lot of symbolism. I did think it was very interesting. We'll get to it because I think that the hero is actually Al Pacino in this film,
and that's a crazy hill to die on, dude. That is a crazy statement.
Because I guess we can just get into it then.
Yeah,
because that's the whole movie, is all the shit that he does. So
yes,
Lomax, Kevin, right?
Yeah, Kevin Lomax.
Kevin Lomax is Keanu Reeves' character. He's brought to New York, and he's doing this trial that involves this murder case. This guy supposedly murdered his wife and kids and maid, and of course, Keanu Reeves is put in the shitty position where he has to defend him.
Yeah, this is his first case that he's given when he moves to New York. That's insane.
He has to pick the jury. He's doing it all, and it's a very intense.
It looks stressful as hell.
And Keanu Reeves, again, acting up a storm, doing a great job as this lawyer in this procedural. His speeches, a lot of long speeches, because that's how lawyers are. A lot of speeches that he makes, and when he makes that first plea to the jury of like, "Hey, I don't like this guy, but just because I don't like this guy, that doesn't mean he's a murderer." And it's just like, Jesus, no wonder people get off. Like, you know what I mean? Incredible lawyer skills.
Yeah, it's all about, with lawyering, it's all about your delivery, your execution, your intonation, like your counter arguments. Like, you must have been the MVP on your high school debate club, like, to become a lawyer. And all the books that you have to read, all of the memorization of the laws within that district.
That's what I think is the tough part.
Incredible, man. Yeah. Like, when he gets his new office in New York, and like the assistant of the firm like rolls in on a cart easily, like 30
books.
Thick books that he has to read.
All like food.
I could never do it. Yeah, food safety law. And how do you keep your attention? I don't know. I have the attention span of a squirrel. You think he wasn't doing coke?
I think lawyers are. When he gets his apartment, a couple of shout outs. They do name check Donald Trump at one of the parties.
Yeah,
that is actually Donald Trump's apartment.
Wait, they're having the party?
Kevin Lomax's apartment.
Oh, really?
Was Donald Trump's apartment at the time.
What the hell?
When this movie was filmed.
So Donald Trump was like, "Yeah, you could film here."
We'll for some money.
For some money.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Not like he need it anymore.
Yeah, he has like...
But yeah, that fool was already rich in the late 90s.
I did also kind of joke with you that I think this movie is maybe an allegory to Donald Trump.
Which I get. I full-heartedly...
And Keanu Reeves is Donald Trump.
I could see Donald Trump having made a deal with the devil, or having been... I'm not going to spoil it, but...
Or being a witch. I think Donald Trump is maybe the biggest chaos magician in history.
Yeah, that fool is doing some black magic for show.
How else does he keep winning?
Yeah.
Maybe it's meth.
It's possible.
Al Pacino's portrayal of the devil is so subtly evil. Up until about halfway through, it's perfect. The subtleness in the beginning and the slow dissolve into a monster as the film goes on is gorgeously done. It tells this incredible fall of character from this or not even fall of character, but like a reveal of character.
Yes, reveal.
As the movie goes on, as
Absolutely.
the storyline progresses.
I was thinking, like, would this movie have been better if they had named it something else where it wouldn't give away the fact that Al Pacino is obviously the devil? If we were surprised as a viewer to find out that he was the devil.
Maybe if they would have named it something else, and maybe they could have said something like, Keanu Reeves, you're a devil's advocate when you play this. It's the type of lawyer you are. And then when he gets to the end, and then all of a sudden it's like, you're not the devil. You're the devil's advocate because I'm the devil.
Al Pacino.
That's
Alejandro,
my heavy metal riff, guys, when something cool happens.
before the episode, he said that he's going to do a cool riff, which consists of 2 notes, I think.
That's all you need, guys.
I don't think there's enough notes to call it a riff,
That's
but
a
we'll
heavy metal.
roll with it.
Well, because, and I do think sometimes it's fun to believe that we should remember that Lucifer was a saint, or he was an angel. He was God's
fallen angel,
He was
yeah.
God's right hand man, and Lucifer's name means bringer of light, because what he was doing was he was telling all of the humans what was really happening up, and God didn't like him for that, so he smited him, sent him to hell, and that's where he resides. I do want to say, I mentioned that I think he's the hero. Al Pacino, because as the story goes on, we find out that through all of these trials and tribulations, Keanu Reeves is trying to blame Al Pacino for all of the bad things, that all the people that have died, all the people that have gone insane and crazy, and the things that have happened in this life. He's blaming it on Al Pacino. But Al Pacino says, no, I'm not a puppet master. I'm just setting this stuff up. I'm just giving you the
sets the
options,
stage.
and I'm letting you make your choice. And constantly throughout the film, Al Pacino's giving Keanu Reeves an out. He's constantly saying like, hey, do you not want to do this? Do you want to be off the case? I'm going to take you off the case. And Keanu Reeves is like fighting, no, I want to be on the case. I want to do this. He's telling him, hey man, you should go home and take care of your wife. No, I don't want to take care of my wife. I want to be here and work. He is almost giving him we find out later on that all the way down to his first trial in Florida, Al Pacino is there controlling people to give him these options. Hey, do you want to take the easy way out, or do you want to work hard and actually do it right?
Yeah.
Do you want the easy, which is the devil's temptation throughout all of history?
That's what
in
it
the
is.
Bible.
And like to stay streamlined with Christianity, yes, it's all about free will. Al Pacino as the devil says that he is a fan of man because man,
he's the biggest humanist.
yes, he's the biggest and maybe the only humanist is what he says,
And I
because man works off of free will. So it's not like, even though he's a powerful being like the devil in this movie, he's not making anyone do anything, but he is, like he said, setting the stage. He is setting up traps and temptations.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, since man has free will, it's up to them to make that decision. And there's some crazy twists, which I don't know if we want to spoil, like the very end where
We can spoil some of them because we did. This is why we tell people the movie ahead of time so that
Yes.
they can watch it. But
this is a 23-year-old movie. It's available
if
on
you
Netflix.
haven't seen Devil's Advocate yet, fucking watch it.
Yeah.
I do want to say though, they make a lot of references to things like the 7 deadly sins, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. I do really think at the basis of this film, it's essentially It's a Wonderful Life. And It's a Wonderful Life is that movie where he's like, I wish I was never born. And then the angel comes in and is like, this is what life would be like if you were never born. Except it's the opposite. And this is the movie where the devil's like, hey man, do you want to take this option? And Keanu Reeves accepts that option. And constantly the devil's, do you want to take this option? Do you want to take this option? And Keanu Reeves is picking the wrong choice, the wrong choice, the wrong choice, the wrong
Yep.
choice. All the way to the point where at the end of the film, spoilers, he wakes up back in the original trial case in Florida.
Yeah.
He's given that opportunity to make all of these mistakes and go back to that original moment, thus bringing me to my point that the devil is the actual hero. What he's doing is he's giving Kevin Lomax the opportunity to see all of the mistakes that he can make until he gets it right or figures it out, and then he gets to go back and try it again.
Yeah.
How I know he's the hero is because we even see the devil get vindicated in the moment where Kevin Lomax shoots himself in the head because he has the free will to not spawn the Antichrist, which is a weird like offshoot thing that happens in this film. But when he decides to use his own free will and not be part of the devil's scheme, we see Al Pacino turn back into an angel. He gets his wings back. Did you notice that?
No. What, like amidst all those flames?
Did you notice that?
No, did not look
He
at that.
gets his wings back and almost has like a heavenly light on him as all the flames are erupting behind him. It's almost as if this devil who is doing these horrible things is being vindicated by God in heaven because he's actually showing how Kevin Lomax can have an opportunity to do the right thing. So he goes back in time. He has the opportunity to make the right choice. He does make the right choice. And then the devil comes and tempts him again.
One more time.
And he falls for it. So it's just like, hey,
Al Pacino says that vanity is his favorite sin. And I see what you're saying by saying that.
See what I'm saying?
It is a heavy statement, and I'm not going to say that I full-heartedly agree that he is the hero. But what I know what this movie is trying to say is that man is their own worst enemy.
Agreed.
Man and their own vanity is the antagonist in this film. It's what fucks us over in the very end, because at the end of the day, it's our decision to be a good person or a bad person. Do we want to put ourselves before others or others before ourselves? And that's what's gonna fuck us up, and that's what this movie's trying to say. And it's saturated. Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to say, like, I kind of want to. I'm pulling up Netflix here. I almost don't even need to, but I wanted to. It's just I found it very interesting that in that scene where he's turns into the devil and turns into Keanu Reeves, and then is like a weird hybrid Keanu Reeves Pacino.
Yeah,
I think that's all saying that he's that because Al Pacino is Keanu Reeves' father.
Yes,
and I think what that moment was the moment of him returning to Al Pacino and returning to Lucifer as the angel, and I think it's constantly being tested. I think if there's a devil's advocate too, it's the next test. It's now he's gonna, it's the next test,
Either that, or it would be a different subject. It wouldn't be no longer be Keanu Reeves. It would be another new, fresh face, probably a different position than the lawyer.
What was his sister's name? Christina Bella?
Oh, the redhead?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing her story, how she got trapped into it.
Yeah, hers was interesting because, and there's a lot of subtle hints that have to do with like the devil and whatnot.
Yes.
With like Keanu Reeves writing with his left hand, because we always talk about the right hand of God, right? Mm-hmm. To be at the right hand of God.
Because Jesus is seated at the right hand of the Father.
Exactly.
And Lucifer was seated at the left hand.
Yes, exactly. And so like there's a scene where Keanu Reeves is writing with his left hand. Even Al Pacino only traveling by subway, because subway is a subterranean way of transport.
Ooh, interesting.
Which is a tip of the hat to hell. Because
yeah, interesting. I like that.
Even the guy that kills a goat, his home is underground.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. A lot of subtle hints.
That was really interesting. The gentleman who kills the goat, who's also in The Five Bloods on Netflix as well.
Oh, nice.
Really good movie. Great job in that film as well. Shout out. But we're not doing that one. We're talking about this film. He does like some dark art, black magic down there.
Yes, dude.
Voodoo magic. Again, to like a lot of witchcraft and sorcery and stuff like that.
Some crazy witchcraft.
Has to do with the devil, because you're making these deals with demons, and we see a lot of demons in these films. I do think that they did a good job of showing that demons can walk around in normal skin, look just like me and you.
That's the scariest part,
We think, they keep coming back to this reference of the Bible of, I send you out as a sheep among wolves. Mm-hmm. And what that means to me is, like, that's a very interesting line to me in the Bible, I think just as a whole, because I send you out in this test. I make you the weakest of the weak in a pack full of killers, and I want to see how you can survive. It's the ultimate test that God can put on you.
Yeah.
Or is it the ultimate temptation that the devil can put on you,
I think it might be the temptation. It might be temptation. Like, are you going to, being different, being something of innocence, like a sheep, are you going to assimilate with the wolves and become a wolf because that's what's enticing, right?
Sure.
That excerpt from the Bible it's applicable in so many different ways just in this movie.
Definitely.
Dude,
they keep it coming back for that reason.
Like, it is amazing. The director of this film, fantastic job. Taylor Hackford, I believe.
Correct.
Also did Ray, which was the biography of Ray Charles. Fantastic job. That's the only thing I really know him from, of his works. But did a fantastic job. The symbolism was incredible. I want to talk about Charlize Theron.
Okay.
Because Charlize Theron, unfortunately, was the victim of all the chaos that ensued.
I have a question for you about that.
What's up?
Was that chaos ensued, and when Eddie gets beaten to death,
Eddie Barzoon?
Is that Al Pacino doing it, or is that Keanu Reeves doing it? Because I think there's a couple of things that happen where it's left up to chance, where I think Keanu Reeves is unwittingly controlling these things to
I don't know, dude. That's tough. I think that's more open-ended, because what we see, it's two homeless dudes that beat Eddie Barzoon to fucking pulp, and we see his face kind of manipulate into like demons' faces, right? Mm-hmm. Like other characters in the movie too. I don't know what it is. I think it's just kind of like Keanu Reeves, by having these frustrations with other people, is an indirect way of him like wishing demise upon them.
And so that's what I'm saying.
Al Pacino's just like, yep, I'll do it.
But is it Al Pacino controlling it, or is it Keanu Reeves' desire to have that done that
I
it's
think,
happening.
Yes, I think it's his desire.
Do you see what
Basically
I'm saying,
giving
though?
Al Pacino the go. Like,
Okay,
okay,
you think Al Pacino's at the end? I think, and not to disagree, but I think Keanu Reeves is making his wife go mad so that he can be with this woman. Like all of the things in his life is
That's an interesting way to put it. Yeah,
I think he has a subconscious plot
subconscious desires, dude.
that's fighting his conscious desires.
Yeah,
And that's where we see this, again, incredible acting where Keanu Reeves is torn between he thinks he wants to be a lawyer and a good man in this, but then his other desire, the backstage plot of becoming the father of the Antichrist and being the next devil, is also like trying to feed itself and puzzle piece itself back into his life. So he's pushing and pulling and tearing himself apart.
You know, if purgatory is like the step right below heaven, like
Sure.
where you got to confess for all of your sins before you go to heaven, he is in hell's purgatory.
I was going to ask, do you think maybe he is in hell already and that this is his punishment, that he has to go through these trials and courts and tribulations?
No, because I think he's still on earth, because I think that's what earth is. In the realm of Christianity, earth, our temporary lives on earth is a test.
Interesting.
Is a test. And the devil, Al Pacino, can walk amongst us as a symbol of temptation, as your boss that could give you anything and everything.
Sure.
Right? Charlize Theron is an interesting character that I want to touch more upon, because she is viewed as something impure when they are in Florida. When they're not in the devil's grasp, in the devil's lair, when they're in Florida, where there's still some innocence there, they're in the same state as as his mom, where his mom is just this avid churchgoer. Charlize Theron is viewed as an impure symbol. You see Charlize Theron on the phone dressing very like, not conservative. What's the word for it?
Conservative?
Yeah, not conservative. She is viewed as the symbol of impurity.
I think
And then
Yeah,
it changes
impurity
when they go to New York. She is now the symbol of innocence and purity, this untouched character, because in comparison to the other girl, the headhunter's wife, the black girl, in comparison to her, she is much more innocent. She just wants to spend time with her husband. She doesn't care about these materialistic things. She wants to go back home, and she becomes this victim. She becomes a victim to this deal with the devil. And I just think that her arc is crazy. Like in Florida, yeah, she's a sex symbol. She just wants to like do whatever the fuck. But here, it's in hell, she is pure. It's just that contrast that I found very interesting. Poor girl,
pure.
dude.
Wow, I never even thought about it like that. That's an interesting thing.
She just goes through it.
So if I'm to understand what you're saying that she is a flawed creature where she's from. She's essentially this sex symbol and a bad thing. And then when she goes to a real bad place, that's where she feels normal there. Is that what you're saying?
She's basically I think she represents the common human. Let's say Florida is the closest thing to heaven in this movie, because that's where he's from. That is the South. That is where his mom's church is, and his mom is there to protect them, right? If his mom, let's say, is an angel. And there, since she is human and humans are flawed, she is viewed as an impure symbol. But when you go to New York, this place that has been, this basically Babylon, right?
Exactly. I was just going to say they equate it to Babylon a couple of times.
It's Sodom, right? Let's say that. Well, in comparison to that, of a human being there, you have the potential to still reach salvation, which is why she, and she's not making these decisions. This is just like kind of what happens, how Keanu Reeves' desire for bigger and better things by making a deal with the devil could affect his loved ones. And like, what is the ultimate price to pay, to reign in hell rather than to serve in heaven? Which is
another great line. This movie's full of little taglines that are incredible.
Yeah.
I see it from two different points of view. I didn't see it from the way you saw it. So it's interesting. I'm very interested in the way that you're seeing it, because I kind of understand what you're saying. But I saw it in two ways. One is this is a story of Keanu Reeves and the wreck in his wake. You know what I mean? As he tears through life and what's going on, look at how many people he'll step on and destroy. Even if you just hint that his past, you get hit by a car. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
So it's like, in one way, it's that storyline. But then on the other hand, in the other sense, I also want to look at it from the other character's point of view. So when I look at Charlize Theron's character, I see it as more of like almost like a punishment. They're both brought into this inner circle of hell where they're given the opportunity to see and be and do all of the things that they've ever wished. Because she even mentions that when, like, I thought buying all this shit for the apartment was going to be fun, but it's not. It's hell. It's bad. It's like, here's an opportunity to get all you want things, you want a big life, you want a fancy career, you want a big apartment, you want the easy life. We'll give that to you, but it's not going to make you happy. What's going to make you happy is being, pure and a human and being whole. So I think it's an interesting sense of everybody's being punished for making the wrong choice.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron, no one's making her not work.
No.
Why does she not work?
Because Kevin Lomax makes enough money for her to do all this stuff.
But you know what I'm saying? She had that option. The
Yeah.
temptation is there.
And what it comes back to is free will. There's temptation, and like when you fall deep into that temptation.
I wonder, I got to go
get
back and look at
punished.
it. If the 7 sins are represented, I wonder if that's like sloth. Where her sin that the
Ooh.
devil got her on was
Yes.
sloth. He got her on lust when he hits on her at the party and like has her change his hair, and vanity when she changes her hair to make herself look in
That's
in
vanity for sure.
Milton's sense pretty. I think everybody falls prey to all 7 sins, and the devil just hops in and makes it all work.
Al Pacino, in the smoothest, most subtle way, represents the deadly sin of lust. The way, even with his age difference with these young
all of them,
women,
7.
how he just sits down with Charlize Theron.
Okay, so later on, when
Holy
Charlize Theron
shit.
gets, when we find her in the church and she says that she was raped by John Milton, by Al Pacino's character,
Yeah.
and Keanu Reeves is like, that's impossible. He was in court with me the whole time. Do you think, as the devil, he's able to split himself into 2?
Yes.
And if that's so true, when he was talking to her at the party, do you think he was also talking to Keanu Reeves in a different room?
Upstairs or something? Or outside?
Because we don't see, because Keanu Reeves is talking to the Spanish girl on the balcony at one point, and Al Pacino walks in. I wonder if he has multiple versions of himself walking around the party, and he was there. He did do that horrible thing to Charlize Theron, and he's knowingly making them incredibly insane.
He's planting seeds.
To make everybody
He's
seem
planting
insane.
seeds, and then everyone is tempted to
Or is Charlize Theron really crazy? Is she so insane now that, you know what I mean? Like I do think there is a possibility that maybe Charlize Theron did just go crazy.
I think the point of this film, I think it's open for interpretation in many different ways.
Sure.
Like as there's a lot of different iterations. With Christianity having a bunch of different branches, I think this movie is the same. Like there are different ways that you could interpret the devil, and this is Al Pacino's way of interpreting it.
Sure.
With Keanu Reeves and Charlize Theron being representative of everyday man,
Yeah.
I don't know, we're flawed, and I think it's trying to highlight human flaws. Like this is a dark way of just showing how terrible humanity can be and how heavy our decisions can be.
Yeah. I think it's the opposite of It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Full circle.
I think it truly is like, well, that's one way to look at it. Or what about this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The temptation, the idea, he does play a lot with this idea of like, well, Al Pacino plays a lot with this idea of like, well, why is God tempting us? Why is God testing you? Like, why is it his thing to do?
Yeah.
And he gets off on like testing people and making life really hard, giving you all these talents and then stacking the deck against you. And then he's just like, I'm here to like give you all this stuff. Why wouldn't you get this stuff? Why shouldn't you have all that stuff? And it's just like, oh, fuck. Well, because if you go this way, it's like you end up, going crazy and having it. I don't know. It's a very interesting question, moral question that they pose.
Yeah, this is a movie that'll definitely make you self-reflect. Like, have I ever been vain to the point where it did kind of throw others under the bus, or it wasn't the just thing to do? I think that this movie was powerful in that sense. If you're religious or not, even if you're a devout Christian that goes to church every Sunday, watch this movie. It is horrific in ways, but it's not
Very
out
graphic.
of pocket.
No. Well, I mean, it's gruesome and graphic for sure, but
but all within context.
Yeah, I mean, it's intense. The allegories that it makes, what I like about it is it's not just the simple idea of the devil and God have this back and forth backgammon game where they're trying to fucking save humanity and devil's trying to destroy humanity. It's truly, I think, like I said, they're both on the same side. You know what I mean? I think he's there trying to tempt them. to see like what you do, what you
Yeah.
test. I think without realizing it, Al Pacino is actually the biggest test that God had sent down here, because the test is this or the easy way out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And so Al Pacino talks about how, he stacks the deck against you, but no, he doesn't. He also gives you this.
He gives you an option to opt out.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he was saying, "Hey, you could lay off this case. Your wife is obviously sick. Marianne is obviously
This is the right
sick."
thing to do.
Yeah.
It's almost, at that point, it's almost weird. It's almost like the devil's rubbing it in his face.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he's not going to pick that. Hey, man. It's so later on he can say, I gave you that option.
Yeah.
It's that shitty
It's manipulation,
lawyer
dude.
Manipulation.
It's manipulation,
Yep.
dude.
Yep.
It's he's using all the tricks in the book. He's using reverse psychology. He's saying like the world won't be mad. It's okay. We all got to lose sometime.
Yeah.
That phrase already, with if anyone is pompous enough, they're gonna be like, but I don't want to fucking lose.
Yeah, of course. I hate that phrase.
Oh gosh, I mean, like, dude, a great loss burns more than how good a great win feels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where Keanu Reeves was, being like the greatest lawyer in South Florida.
Keanu Reeves does a really interesting job of not just playing a Southern character, but a character who is questioning if he's also going insane.
Yeah.
We see him go through, like, he watches his wife die. And so
Holy shit.
So watching that scene, watching him react, his crying when
I
they're
know
trying to,
when people make fun of Keanu Reeves' acting sometimes, but in that scene, spoiler alert, Charlize Theron is admitted to like a mental
asylum.
facility, yes, and she breaks a mirror because she sees like a devil in the mirror. Breaks the mirror, and now there's broken shards of the mirror around. She locks herself in her room, and Keanu Reeves is banging on the door, and he sees his wife that he's done a shitty
still
job of
trying to save.
protecting,
Yeah.
just slit her own throat. And the way that he reacts, it's an ugly cry. But in that moment,
It's
when
such
you
a
were
real cry.
when you were seconds away from saving your wife, it's a real cry. I got goosebumps from him screaming, because that is the most realistic reaction that I've ever. If you see your wife or husband slit their throat right in front of you, you're not just gonna have one tear roll down your face
You're
and it's
be
gonna be
screaming.
screaming. I would be punching the walls. I would find the person that, I don't know. The acting was incredible in this movie. From Keanu Reeves, from Al Pacino, from Charlize.
Top of the mark. This film was originally set to be made in '94, directed by Joel Schumacher, rest in peace. And he had Brad Pitt slated to star.
I could see that.
Brad Pitt, I think, would have done a really interesting job of a Southern character. I think it would have been like his character in Seven.
Yeah, I could see that definitely.
After Brad Pitt dropped, Christian Slater, John Cusack, and Edward Norton were all considered for the role.
Holy shit, and they landed on Keanu Reeves.
Kevin Spacey was considered the role of the devil.
I could see that too. I think all of these people are interchangeable.
Don King makes a cameo. That was fun to see.
Yeah, yeah. Don King knows Al Pacino.
Of course, Don King knows Al Pacino.
Of course.
That's such a subtle, like, fuck you to Don King to, like, have him in it without him realizing what he's probably in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no way he knew that.
You're just like, oh, I'm going to be in a movie? Okay.
An Al Pacino movie? All right.
Yeah, even though this topic is heavy, talking about heaven and hell and religion and whatnot, there were funny aspects in here in this movie that did blow my mind. Like when he's in the middle of like having sex and trying to impregnate Charlize, it's interchanging between the redhead that is his half sister, and at one point he is so lustful, he sucks her toe, and Charlize
That was weird.
Is in the right. Charlize is in the right by saying, "What are you doing?" If you've never sucked a toe in your 8-year-long marriage or whatever the fuck,
Yeah,
and
if
you
you're
start
married-
sucking toes, you either watched some weird porn recently,
Or you're now into something weird.
yeah, or you're visioning someone with pretty toes.
Or you have a lot of secrets that you need to talk about.
Yeah.
Just be honest with yourself.
Yes.
Kinks are kinks, guys. Be honest with your partners.
Yeah, 8 years in, don't hold that kink in.
And if you want to try something new, explain it to her. Hey, I want to try sucking on your toe. I've never done it before.
But he was acting super weird. He was going through different facial expressions.
Lust.
It was full lust when it was the redhead, but then when it would change in between Charlize, it'd go between confusion and like, yeah, let's make a baby. It was
That was the
weaving in
weird
and
thing when
out.
she was crying. He's like, hey, let's make a baby. And she was like, really? Right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's just like, ah.
That's another flaw of human relationships, I think, is that in the heat of the moment when emotions are peaked and you want to solve the issue between you and your significant other, you're going to
Bang
say
it out.
things that are going to be like, Just bang it out. Angry sex
doesn't
is good
matter
sex.
what emotion it is. If it's on a level 6 or higher, just have sex.
Yeah, if you
Sad,
are
happy,
dying of
fun.
laughter because you're watching a great stand-up special
Just
on
pull your pants
Netflix,
down.
dude, nah, that's not a good thing. Have you ever laughed during sex? Not fun.
You should. That means it's real.
It's real for sure,
It's
but
not fun.
I gotta
That
put
means
it
you
away
have
for
a
a bit.
connection. That means you have a connection with
There's
that woman.
there's definitely a genuine connection
Snorts,
there, but it's
snorts
not
and-
sexy time.
Snorts and laughs. Those are all good things, bro.
You're right,
I am.
but I
always right.
can't just get right into it after that.
Do you have a best person on set award?
Charlize Theron. I'm
Why?
gonna give it to her because she was going through it. You know, we saw some incredible acting, incredible monologues from Al Pacino, but that's expected, dude. That's Scarface, baby.
Baby, hey,
Keanu
baby.
Reeves being put to the test, holding down a Southern accent the entire movie, but still, he, in comparison to Charlize Theron, who goes through a roller coaster of emotions,
Quite a bit.
super happy, super bashful, cute, sexy, very polite when she's at the party, and then just her soul is just beat to a pulp by the end of the movie, and to act it in such a believable way and to go crazy and play crazy where it's not too much and it's just right. Incredible. 5 stars.
Chef's kiss or no chef's kiss?
Mwah.
Chef's kiss. Wow.
Chef's kiss.
Interesting.
Salt Bay sprinkle too.
You saw this movie, right? You know what you're doing that too? You know what happens to her in this film?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about her acting chops,
Yikes,
dude.
bro,
Who's
you
your
make
best
me
person on
sick.
set award?
Actually, you know, it is Keanu Reeves.
Nice.
He is. I've never seen him give so much to a character. Not just that screaming, crying bit, but the devotion to the accent, the commitment to character, the commitment to staying in it in every single line. Like he is. This is his best acting.
It's
for
good.
sure.
It's good.
I do not know any better Keanu Reeves acting. To hold up, to stand up against Al Pacino's screaming Al Pacino-ness.
To play opposite of Al Pacino, holy shit.
What do you rate this movie?
I'm gonna rate it a 5 out of 5.
And I agree.
Yeah. I was thinking, like,
good.
Christian, are you being too generous with these movies lately? But that's our fucking job, is to
know
find
what?
these movies that are not rated the best.
And rate them best. They're actually, you know, a little bit higher than most movies we would pick.
Yes.
And it makes sense also why I think people don't like it, because it's scary and it's like things people don't want to talk about. But
Yeah.
if you can stomach it,
Yeah, I know religion is a touchy subject, y'all, but I mean, it's fine to be open-minded. And there's a lot of symbolism in this. It is art. Religion has a lot of symbolism in it, and it's something that we should discuss because it does take some critical thinking, and it is really fun to make those connections.
correct. You can follow the podcast at ICBTB Podcast.
Yep, or you could follow us and follow us.
Do both.
Do both. Follow me at Christian Has Asthma
Follow me. Follow me.
on the street.
That's right. I like to look behind and see who's
creepy.
there.
The next time you see me, you're like, dude,
Huh?
there's been 3 shady figures just following me in alleyways.
You see that van out there?
Yeah, he's been following me for a week.
No garden
I
service.
think I'm gonna die.
That would be so spooky. You can follow me at call_me_Jesus. You can email us.
Yeah, at icbtbpodcast@yahoo.com. Don't ask us why it's Yahoo, but it is Yahoo because we still support it.
Why not? I don't understand what the big deal is against
You know,
Yahoo.
I don't
It
either.
works.
But people keep asking us, why not Gmail?
I'll
Fuck
tell you
out
why.
of here.
Because I don't like Google. That's a fair answer. And that's
Because
the real
Google
answer.
does not let 0-year-old people make an account. And that's what this guy did.
Anyways.
When's your birthday? Oh, today,
That is a weird-
this year.
That is-
You're 0 years
Why
old?
does it make a difference? Why does it make a difference?
Because babies shouldn't be allowed to send emails.
They're not. A baby's not.
Yeah, but at 0 years old, you're just a thought, dude.
Save
you
this-
might be a sperm.
Save this for a Tuesday. Why is a sperm on the internet? That doesn't even begin to make sense.
How long would it take a sperm to type out an email?
In eternity, because it's not a real thing. 9 months of gestation to become a baby.
Yeah.
Then it can type out an email.
Yeah, sperm should not be on a computer unless after you're done with your business. Then clean it. This is the end of the episode.
This is the end of our podcast.
This is this is the end.
Of the world as we know it.
Any other songs that you want to end with that have to do with
This is
end?
the end. This is the end.
There's a Tom Jones song that goes And end of my world, end of my world. I mean, it's out of context. It's called, I think, End of the World. Peace.
It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad.